स्मार्ट हो रहा है इंडिया, जैसे इंडिया में बना एलिस्टा स्मार्ट एलईडी टीवी विद वर्ल्ड क्लास क्लैरिटी एंड अमेजिंग फीचर्स।
Yeah, talking of domestic cricket, and now we have to talk about the franchise cricket. You have played a significant role for the Invincibles in the 100, and then you went on to play in the WBL as well as the WPL. Probably the youngest to play in all three. So, how do you look at it?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing franchise cricket. I love kind of going into different tournaments, different teams, meeting new people, kind of sharing a dressing room with people that normally you're playing against. You look at the Oval Invincibles and you've got outstanding players in Marizan Kapp and Danae and Susie Bates, who normally I'm playing against if it's international cricket. So to kind of build those relationships and learn from them is brilliant. And I really enjoy franchise cricket. I enjoy kind of in all of the competitions, where it's WBBL, WPL, 100, they all bring that X factor, and it's just a real kind of entertainment which I really enjoy being a part of, and the way they're set up and kind of the crowds they get in and just the way they market it and everything. It's huge for the women's game, and it develops players like me going into it, but whoever you are, kind of you're going to learn so much from franchise cricket with the internationals that you have in your team. So no, it's brilliant, and it's always a lot of fun going to different countries. And I think you saw the success that the WPL had, and it just pushes back on franchises like the 100 and the WBBL to raise the game even more. And when you've got that competition, it only does benefits for the women players.
What are the challenges of playing franchise cricket? You have to be in a different country for a longer duration of time, especially when you are in. Do you feel like missing out on things back home?
Yeah, obviously, a lot of professional cricketers talk about the sacrifices that you make. Kind of, you're away a lot. You miss out on kind of important occasions back home, whether it's family member's birthday or things like that. But there do become challenges with playing franchise cricket. It makes the schedule pretty busy and pretty hectic, and you kind of miss out on that kind of, I guess, downtime to kind of recharge. But I think for a player like myself at the moment, at the start of my career, it's what I want. I want to play cricket all year round. I want to play as many games. I want to learn as much as possible from different players. So from me personally, I want to play in everything. I want to travel the world, see different places, and playing franchise cricket allows me to do that, which is amazing. And it's kind of a pinch me moment that you can kind of travel around the world and say it's your job, which is amazing. Which in previous kind of years, you wouldn't have been able to have that. So I feel very fortunate that is a career that I can go into, and I think you've got the players like Heather and Catherine who have been screaming for it for years now, so they should take a lot of the plaudits.
Talking of the challenges, does it help that you have similar sort of players, be it Jonathan Batt, your Maiden Cap is there, and your Invincibles and Delhi Capitals, Jemima Rodriguez is there in Melbourne Stars and Leigh Capitals. So does that help?
Yeah, of course it does. It when you're out in franchise competitions and you're away for a long period of time, you build friendships and you really kind of get to know each other. And I guess for me personally, I'm fortunate that JB's my head coach in all three franchise competitions, and he was also my head coach at Surrey at regional in the first year. So I've known him pretty much, for 5-6 years now, and I've got a really good relationship with him. So it obviously definitely helps when you're going into a new competition that you've got a familiar face, and same with Cappy and I guess Jemmy as well. It just makes things a little bit easier. You feel a little bit more at home. So no, it's brilliant.
I had to ask this for your Indian fans. What is it like playing for Delhi Capitals, and what was the experience like playing in the WPL?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was everything and more. And I think for it just being the first year, it's outstanding. Like, it's mind blowing, really. What really kind of stood out for me was the Indian talent pool, which I probably haven't seen. I've only obviously seen kind of the main India squad, but playing in a squad where you've got younger players like Titas, who was in the Under-19 World Cup. She was outstanding, and the players we had that were on the bench, they could have fitted in perfectly, and you wouldn't have known whether it was off like first 11 or not. So I think that was one of the big things that stood out to me, and I think also obviously you can't go too far past the Indian crowds. They were outstanding. They really, whether you were on the home team or not, they really kind of gave you the energy, which was brilliant, and just the whole way it was set up. Delhi Capitals were brilliant. They looked after me so well, and I had the best time out there. So yeah, I'd be really looking forward to going back out there, and yeah, it'll be, God, in 5-10 years time, I can't imagine what it will look like. It's huge.
So already talked about your batting, but you have been turning up your arm in almost all the competitions you have been playing. You are not just a part-timer, but you have been working hard at your outside. So how do you look at your bowling?
Yeah, look, I kind of look back to a couple of years ago, and I was, especially at domestic cricket, I was an all-rounder. And then as you go, kind of my breakthrough into England, it was more as a batter. So I haven't really had the opportunity. Obviously, it's pretty hard to kind of turn your arm over in international cricket when you're kind of behind world-class bowlers like Sophie Eccleston, Charlie Dean and Sarah Glenn. But like you said, I've been working on it really hard around matches and in training, and fortunately enough, kind of when I go out to franchise competitions with Oval Invincibles, Melbourne Stars, Delhi Capitals, I've had the opportunity to take a bit of responsibility with the ball, which I've really enjoyed, and kind of really enjoyed learning it a little bit more. Especially I kind of look at Delhi Capitals, the way Meg used me, the conversations we had, being in a team with Jess Jonathan, who's obviously a very experienced cricketer. You just pick up things and you learn things, and you have different conversations, which has been brilliant. And I've been able to bring that back to the England stuff. And what I've really enjoyed is that in the 2 games that I have bowled in this Ashes series, I guess I've done my job, which is really important. It kind of just keeps putting your name in the hat to kind of getting more opportunities, which is all you want as a cricketer.
What was it like taking your maiden ODI wicket?
Yeah, it was obviously, yeah, I mean, whatever first it is in international cricket, it's special, isn't it? And to do it in an Ashes match, yeah, it's huge. And I think at the time, we didn't even realise it was my maiden ODI wicket. It was kind of, we've just got Talia McGrath out, we can go again. So no, it was obviously a really nice touch, and it was a nice moment. But the main thing was that I contributed to another game of cricket for England, which is what I want to do.
You had that shoulder injury in West Indies. How was that time, and you were almost missing out on that T20 World Cup?
Yeah, it's obviously whatever injury, and getting a setback, it's never nice, and it does bring difficult times. And I think kind of, especially as the first game in West Indies, kind of watching from home, it gave me a lot of kind of, I guess I felt like I was really missing out there. And yeah, it was obviously a tight turnaround as well. So there was a lot of ups and downs of whether I was going to be making the World Cup squad or not. But looking back at it, it was tough, but it also shapes you as a person. It's just one of those things in professional sport. You're going to get injured, and it's just about how you come back. And yeah, it was obviously really pleasing for me personally to be able to get out to South Africa and play a part with the England girls. Obviously wasn't the result we wanted to going out there, but it was my first World Cup, and that in itself is pretty memorable. So no, it was obviously a challenging time, but the girls especially, they were brilliant at supporting me and kind of reaching out, and I can't thank the ECB staff enough for kind of the support they gave me over that kind of 2-month period, really.
How's that bionic shoulder?
Yeah, it's all good. It's back to 100%, and hopefully it will stay at 100% for many more years now. No more injuries would be nice.
So what do you do when things not go your way?
I think it's professional sport. Obviously, you fail a lot more than you succeed, especially in cricket, and that's the really difficult part of it. I think the really important thing is that we have such a special group here that we all support each other. We get each other through the difficult times, and the staff in this group are outstanding. They kind of back you fully, and even when you're not fully backing yourself, they tell you to go out there and play how you want to play. So I think it's just the messaging that we get around the group really helps, and I think there's always, especially as a batter, there's always one good knock around the corner. You look at kind of my innings is before the Lord's game. I think I'd scored about 17 runs in 5 innings, so it wasn't in the best of form, but all it takes is one innings or one shot to get you back into form, and that's kind of what you've got to hang on to.
So you talked about the ECB support stuff. You have been working a lot with Jonathan Batty. So how is working with John Lewis?
Oh, he's been brilliant for this team. I think the shift that we've had as a group since he's come in has been monumental, just from our cricketing skills, but also as a group, how we communicate with each other and how we support each other through the pressure moments. I mean, there's some prime examples during this series, aren't there, where I guess previously we may not have dealt with those pressure moments as calmly or would have got through those pressure moments as successfully. And I think just his confidence in all of us as cricketers, but also he treats us all as individuals, is really important. And I think he's finding the best way to get the best out of his players, but in their own individual way, which is brilliant.
What are the immediate goals of Alice Capsey post this Ashes?
Oh, that's a good one. I just want to keep contributing in games of cricket for England, and whatever that looks like, it's just about putting the team first. Obviously, I don't really want to look too far ahead, because I think at the moment, especially in such an important series like the Ashes, you can't really look too far ahead. But I think for me, it's just about playing as many games as possible, learning lots, keep having conversations about developing my own game, and playing around the world, playing in different franchise competitions, and hopefully winning a couple of competitions and series along the way would be great.
स्मार्ट हो रहा है इंडिया, जैसे इंडिया में बना एलिस स्मार्ट एलईडी टीवी with world class clarity and amazing features.